And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today I'm taking a look at Carmarace. Get it? Karma. Okay. This is a game that was made by Bored to Death Games. Now, Bored to Death are a review. They do some great reviews out there, and so I always find it interesting when a reviewer makes a board game. This is not the first, and this will certainly not be the last time that's happened. The artwork was it was okay, but I was a little wondering about the game, just interesting. The board looked kind of like one of those old 80s boards, and it looked like a roll and move style game. Let's find out. Okay, here's the map of you. All your folks are going to start up here. You have these little meeples representing your characters. And so you're going to start there, and you're going to be moving around the board using either these. You can see that there's train tracks to use, there's a road to use, there's also airplane paths to use. Each of those paths has a certain number of squares on it. So if I moved 6 road movement, from here it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. And if I was next to an airplane station on the board, and I have a card that lets me use an airplane, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say I had an airplane that moved 5. But anyhow, so you're going to move on the board. Every time you're on the road and you get to one of these spots here, you're going to roll a die. And on odds, you're going to, on a 1, 2, or 3, you're going to go south. On a 4, 5, or 6, you're going to go east. And then you have to keep going that direction, which can really be annoying when you're trying to go one of the other directions. Also, when you're driving a car, occasionally you will get to train tracks, and there'll be a sign there that says stop, and you have to stop even if you have more movement to go. And so you're going to be going on these different paths. You can see that the airplane paths are longer paths, but the airplane cards usually let you move faster. And eventually you want to get down here till you get to the convention. Now, how are you going to be doing this? Well, if you notice at the top of the board, there is 4 decks of cards. These are the decks of cards that you'll be using over the course of the game. The main deck is the transportation deck. The other 3 decks are karma decks. This is road karma, train karma, and airplane karma. Now, when you have this deck here of transportation, each transportation is a certain type. Pretty obvious, like a motorcycle moves on the road and has a speed of 3. Midnight train moves on the train and has a speed of 7. There's the People's Transport, the Red Devil, those are all trains. The Elite Cop, that's a road card. Here's the Limo, a road card. Here's Karma Airlines. See how that moves 20. Now, when you play one of these cards, on your turn, you're going to play a card. So let's say I'm next to an airport, and I play this, it's going to let me move 20. Each other player then has a chance to play airplane karma cards, including you. Like, for example, I might put afterburners on my airlines to give me +2. But someone else might play air traffic control, which is -5. So there's different cards that can be played, and someone else might play lost an engine, -5. And also, many of these cards have special abilities on them that you have to take into effect. Now, each vehicle, you'll see that this Karma Airlines has a small 5. That's how many karma cards can be played on it. And some cars and vehicles are immune to them. For example, this motorcycle says ignore pedestrian cards. So anyone who plays a pedestrian card on that one, you won't be able to affect it. After everyone's done playing cards on you, you can then move. Now, nobody can play these karma cards on the first 3 turns of the game. So you have a chance to get out the gate and get some movement done before people start playing karma cards. At the end of your turn, you can discard up to 2 cards and redraw back up to your hand size, and then again, play cards on other people. So that's essentially the game. You're just going to be racing, going down different paths, playing cards. The only rule is when you're done with the transportation, you discard it, except for trains and airplanes. Those you keep in front of you until you get to the next station. So if I start here, I'll keep using the same train until I get to the next train station, which is here. Train stations are coincidentally shaped like a T, and airplane stations are shaped like an A. Woohoo! Now, I really enjoy the goal of this game. The goal of the game is to be the first person to the convention center, because you're getting some collectible item before everybody else. It's essentially, it's a mad, mad, mad world. right? That's how this game works out. That's the theme of it. And I like that idea. I like the board. The artwork on the cards is fine. Each person also gets a player card, and the player cards, I'm guessing they're Kickstarter backers. But anyway, they give you a special ability to tell you what you do in your turn. Draw, play a card, everyone else, blah, blah, blah. They give you special abilities, but they're really lame ones. You can add, like one guy can add one to a die that's rolled. One guy can subtract one. One guy can risky re-roll a red die. That means you can roll it, but you have to take the second result. Except there's another guy who can do the same thing with a green die, but almost no card ever specifies which die you would roll. So if I have the guy who can re-roll a red die, why would I not always just pick the red die? Who knows? The game itself is just a take-that game. I wish it was more. I look at it and say, whoa, wow, this would be kind of cool. But it's just, I play cards and see what cards people play on me. Sure, that doesn't happen the first 3 turns, but after that, I can play bad cards on you, or I can play bad cards on him. I can have the roll go poorly for me. There's a card that lets you try to do a jump. So I'm doing a jump on my limo. And sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it doesn't fail. I'm winning the race, and all of a sudden I get to an arrow and I'm forced to go south and go way far out of my way. I just don't draw good enough cards. The game is lock, 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 and then take that, take that, take that. And in the early 80s, I think this game would have been a big smash hit, but we have really progressed beyond that. And I'm actually kind of surprised that people who review so many good games put out a game that kind of ignores innovation that has happened in the last 20 years. This game could have come out in the 80s, like I said, and no one would have noticed. It would have been the same as every other game. But we have so many good things and good mechanisms to use in games, and they're not in this box. The moving around the board, I mean, this is like a mass market game in a sense. And I know that sounds elitist to say that, but really it's just nothing special. I'm sure some people will get a kick out of the game. They'll play cards, haha, look, I stopped you, aha. But in essence, I never felt like I had any control over what happened. Ooh, I drew a really good airplane card. I'm near a good airline route. I'll play it. Boom, 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 boom. Everyone plays bad cards on you. Okay. You know, or I just don't have any good cards to play on my turn. So, maybe for kids, I think maybe kids would enjoy this game. People who don't want to put a lot of thought into the game would like it, but I just did not like it. I thought it was a very poor game. Now this is called Carmarace, and on the bottom, or here on the top, Stage 1. Stage 2 is coming, which is supposed to improve the game. I don't really understand how that works. I thought Stage 2 would be in the convention center itself as you rush to grab the stuff, which actually might be an interesting game. But it's a big box with a lot of cards and a nice, beautiful board, but in the end, it's just play and see what happens. And I've kind of progressed beyond that. I don't mind games that have lots of luck if they're fairly short. This one is closer to 45 minutes to an hour and just seems to drag on longer than that. And you are at the whim of both the deck and your opponents, and whether you win is up to them and the deck.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
What do you want? Like, shut the door!
Do.